And I think a lot of people most interested are going to be, where's the hotspots?
Yeah, where's the hotspot? That's a million-dollar question there.
This topic. Okay. James, do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. So when I think about the hotspots in the city, right? So there's a couple things that we can think about, right? There's the planned growth, creating the hotspots, as well as kind of the organic growth. But before we jump in, I just want to talk about in general, when we zoom out, what are the challenges of the city? For instance, if you look at this map, you can see the west side. There's not as much development going on over there, or even, thoughts of hotspots over there. But I mean, there's a lot of challenges as we go west. There's a lot of challenges because of environmental issues. Right. There's aquifers, there's the terrain, there's lakes, there's so many other things. We actually jump right into like the city of Rollingwood to the city of BK, city of Westlake. So it kind of breaks apart as we get over there. As we go east and north and south, it's very flat and level, and so that's why you kind of see the ease of development, and which means it's gonna be less expensive to build. The other thing is, the industrial uses. We've run into issues with industrial uses because the outer areas were for industry, and now we have limitations from, for instance, like chemical storage. We have AO, which is airport overlay with the flyover. Other challenges are like gentrification issues that we're battling, but at the same time, I think there's ways that we could work in and develop, but at the same time, slow down gentrification. But as far as for the planned and organic growth strategy. So what I see is planned is what different tools, like for instance, when I talk the small area plans, when we talk about Imagine Austin creating a network and different nodal developments, that's kind of the plan, the stuff that the city has invested in. The organic growth has to do with what just happens. But before we jump into that, I think, let's see, the next slide. To start kind of giving an example of...
so let me help people understand the catch what you say. So what James basically saying is, imagine Austin, if it's like Deng Xiaoping, right? They draw a circle. Let's plan over something here. Okay, that's planned. Okay. Now, what's organic growth? CC decided to do something, do a development at that corner. You see domain, right? That happened. So that's organic growth. And in the city, it's amazing that those two happen overlapping each other, happening around. So that's what all that circle happening. So James, why don't you give us example of what's planned development, what's organic growth development?
Okay, so a couple examples of planned growth. So on East Riverside, there's a plan called the ERC, East Riverside Corridor. I was actually part of the envisioning team on that as well. We envisioned, because that's a line that goes to 71, which heads to the airport directly from downtown. There's a lot of large piece of projects. So it was a great opportunity to create a vision area, kind of a mixed use with public transportation, like rail down the middle. So we put a lot of effort into that.
That changed the whole community. That changed it.
Oh, completely. It changed the whole community. And people are building, for instance, we have huge condos and apartments, being built along that Oracle campus. They have a brand new campus there. But then right across from it, in the East Riverside corridor, is the Catalyst. So the Catalyst is going to is a huge development. Again, it's leveraging upon that East Riverside master plan. And it's going to have almost 5,000 apartment units. And so it covers over 97 acres. There's going to be 600 hotel rooms. There's going to be almost 4 million square feet of office space, over 400,000 square feet of general retail, 60,000 square foot of medical and dental space.
That's a new skyline over there for sure.
And this is like 5 minutes to downtown, or maybe 8 minutes. But it is, and there's a parkland right along, it's right next to even, Town Lake, where Ladybird Lake is. So it's a wonderful place. And if we want to talk about a hotspot, that's going to transform that area. It just, I think we just reviewed the project a couple months ago. So, I mean, this is, by 2040, I mean, it's going to be, full blown at that point. Now, the other big hotspot that's planned from the city is South Shore Central. This is directly south of downtown.
Right.
So we think downtown stopped at the river, right? Well, it just leapfrogged south over the river,
Across the
to the
river.
south side.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is leveraging because there's some larger pieces of land. There's an Austin American Statesman site, which is like 19 acres. So the city had a plan that came about, and all these professionals from all over the United States came together and envisioned this new waterfront South Shore initiative. And it's actually quite award-winning, and it's very well thought out plan. It includes the city investing land. It includes changing street lines. It's a lot of reorganizing of that whole area. I mean, that's over.
See that when you walk around the lake, you can see all that plant on the side of the road.
And it's where the bats come out, right? And
That's
so
where the bats
the whole area is going to be more green space for all of us to enjoy as well. I mean, that's 80 acres. It's going to have, streets, infrastructure, affordable housing. It's going to be mixed use, live, work. It's all right there, and more parkland space for all of us. And that I've only seen one project come through so far that is part of that initiative. So the opportunity is huge, right? If we want to look at investing, and even if you were going to think big or small, even if you're going to say, I'm going to buy a house near there, well, I mean, it's going to do really well as well.
Yeah.
By 2040. Now, the last one I talk about is really exciting, and it's kind of the north central area.
Right.
This is part of the North Burnett Gateway Plan area. So the domain leveraged upon that, and then Major League Soccer Stadium called McCalla Place, that's part of that also. So now we have the domain, we have Major League Soccer, and we have this master plan of the city of Austin. And so that's going to be really exciting. By 2040, domain, the second part of domain's already going up, and it's continuing. That whole area is going to be the next little mini downtown, and it's going to include a Major League Soccer stadium.
Yeah,
so,
that's amazing.
And so that's part of the whole thing. Now, organic growth takes a catalyst of somebody that's willing to come in and re-envision the area that's outside of kind of the city processes and city envisioning.
Right.
So an example of that would be, for instance, the Velocity campus. Okay, so this is into East Austin near the airport. So over here, this was an old campus of a fab, kind of a tech fab area.
Right.
It's right next to parkland and such. So a developer came in, big developer, and want to reimagine that. So this is going to be, we're talking over, almost 3,000 multifamily units, 2.9 million square feet of office space, 585,000 square feet of flex industrial creative space, 310,000 square foot of commercial use for retail, restaurants, and a cinema, 3 hospitality sites, and a large central park.
They all are around there. Yeah.
And this is not a city thought out thing. This was somebody who says, hey, I'm going to take this big development that's there and reimagine it. And now we want to add even more to it. Tesla is being located right close to that too. So this Velocity development hasn't broken ground yet, right? We just reviewed it a couple months ago. So, but by 2040, I mean, you better bet that we should be thinking about investing in that area, right? We don't have to be the catalyst, right?
You followed it.
Yeah, we just follow it.
I was saying, you don't have to be the one, first one eat the crab. We all eat the So follow where the money goes.
And we talk about, like earlier, I talked about the concept of complete communities, right? One of the first things is you got to have that catalyst, right, to bring the business, and then people come. Well, let's be the one that completes and builds that area to help complete the community. So there's a lot of investment potential there.
I also like you to touch on the metropolitan area too. Cedar Park, Pflugerville, Round Rock, those are amazing places.
Yeah, so and I was saying Apple campus is similar to that. Apple was the catalyst for that North Austin site, and there's great opportunities there. That's $1 billion campus that they're building right there, the second campus. So with Austin's prices going up, and also a lot of people also like different suburb living as well. So the greater metropolitan has been on fire completely. So they're also learning from Austin on a lot of different concepts. Like we created like the domain, or we created special districts and such. So for, here's an example: Cedar Park, the Bell Boulevard redevelopment is reimagining, and this is just 25 minutes from downtown Austin. So they're reimagining that to create their own little downtown, unique, mixed-use area, kind of walkable and everything like
Beautiful
that.
design. I saw their design. I went to their
Yeah.
meeting. Beautiful.
I know, it makes me want to think about, hey, maybe if I leave Austin, I'll go hang out over there.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then when we look at like Pflugerville, so they're creating a domain like
Oh yeah.
development called North Point, and it's really interesting. It's actually going to it's going to span over on top of a highway.
130, both sides. They control
Yeah, on both sides,
Yeah.
which is exciting. And then not even far from that, that's where the largest
Amazon
warehouse
centers
is
there.
Yep.
Amazon's right there.
Yep.
We see huge amount of development around
Yep.
there.
And then Round Rock, they're doing their kind of domain like
Right.
development called the District. So there's a lot of opportunities at different places. And I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, like, I usually don't think about investing in the greater metropolitan, but I think just last year and a half ago, I invested in Pflugerville. And all of a sudden I'm finding out about like the domain, these two things. And I'm like, oh my God, I was going to just flip it. And in the end, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this thing and watch it continue to grow in equity.
I agree. Yeah, exciting. People always call me and say, Lynn, tell me what the hotspot, what should I invest in? That's $1 million question. I'm telling you, this is lots and lots and lots of places.
Mhm.
Every single one of them, if you dive in, zoom in, there will be opportunity. Okay, there will be opportunities gonna find it and gonna be successful with it. I want to give the credit to one of the person who joined the call today. I had a call with him, I think last month. He told me something I'm really grateful he mentioned. I didn't think of it. He said, if you want to invest, you follow the young generation. Don't follow the old money. You can catch up with them. Follow the young one, what the city had to, okay? And you're going to be very successful. I want to credit to the investor. It's great mind. And a lot of things we were telling you, it's a new trend, right? 2040. Don't forget about the last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. Look at the new one. What's city of Austin's coming next 20 years? Follow where the young people go. Follow where the new development go. You'll be successful.
Whereas the opportunities.
Yeah, I mentioned, right? Follow where the new thing is, and do the same thing, do the right thing. You will be successful. So I'm just gonna, James, feel free to chime in. I'm gonna touch on the 4 opportunity here. From the poll, we know people are majority of them like me. We started James, we started residential investment. Great amount of opportunity there. Also, you all know we are also do commercial. James and I also do commercial brokerage, management. We do commercial real estate too. Another third thing people don't even realize, so many businesses are changing hands, 大洗牌, right, under COVID. So we've been buying, selling businesses for investors too. So great opportunity there. Of course, we also do several investment, institutional grade investment, meaning we work together, invest together on the project. So I want to touch on those 3 points, 4 points, if that makes sense. First of all, I want to check the time, make sure we have enough time. For residential, right? We've been doing this for almost 20 years. So we're talking about investing in single family, duplex, condo, apartments in those locations we're talking about. So those are the, what are we investing, right? Those are the things we're investing in. Next slide, we're going to show you the 4 locations. Among those hot spot, if we categorize them, right? Some of those North Shore, South Shore, right? Downtown Austin, we had a project there on the TiVo on Rainy Street. So urban downtown, very high desirable location. Cash flow is challenging, but appreciation is great. And we're also talking about a suburb. Those locations we talk about the metropolitan area, Cedar Park, Round Rock, Leander, Pflugerville, and Huddles, Builders, all that, right? Those are, even though with the low appreciation of, actually, I would take it back. Some of those have really in the emerging market, they've seen some growth appreciation, strong cash flow. Of course, they're called emerging location, are the one the hotspot, right? Lots of story coming in. You're gonna see like a spring compress a little bit. Now you let go, that location go. They're gonna see a great appreciation next 5 to 7 years. see a lot of new development. Also special blocks, right? The location with the challenge, local challenges. If you know how to invest in that, I personally invest in some of those. But if you do know what you're looking for, you can find the great opportunities. So I would say all the 4 quadrants, almost not one's favorite, but investing all of them and finding out a different opportunity too. What do you think, James?
No, I completely agree. I mean, like personally, like I usually invest in the urban and the emerging regions. And like you were saying, you know, in the suburbs, it was interesting because when I saw the slide said low appreciation. So that's what I thought, because I bought it for cash flow. But then when, for instance, the stories we talk about, each of these little suburb, like depending if you buy in the right spot in these suburbs, because businesses are locating even in these areas, that the appreciation is actually doing really well. So again, you kind of got to find that story even in the suburbs. So we just got to be smart about, you know, where we invest in, right? So a lot of these are great opportunities. I think the one that that is intriguing, you know, of course, is that special blocks. Like that's the one that's the guys that were being the catalyst, right? It's risky, but at the same time, you know, we could think about doing things like that with the potential of, you know, it's almost like kind of like land banking and hoping, right? If we can find something with ag exemption, we can sit on it for a long time.
Ag exemption, opportunity zones, and all that. I used to follow Costco. Where Costco go, I go buy house. You follow Capital One. Capital One's another example. They did a lot of research on their site selection. So anyway, that's a long story we can share with people. Make sure you contact us. We share the detail with you.
I'll have to get more inside information for those.
Okay.
Just give me. Okay. So the other one is this project. And then can you introduce this one for us real quick?
Yeah, this project is developed by Pearlstone, great friend of mine. Beautiful project. We are equity investor at downtown Austin on desirable Rainy Street. And right now, this one's my investment favorite because it's in urban location. In urban, you all know, it's hard to find a investment grade property, okay? You can actually do short-term rental, long-term rental. You can use the owner-occupied investment. This called downtown. I call missing middle because they're filling in the price range in the lower end. The highest point is below midband. So definitely create a great amount of investment opportunity.
So I have a real quick question on that because I can see that, you know, you're talking about short-term rentals. So usually, so here, like I operate a short-term rental, and I mean, I went over a lot of the codes and, you know, policies that's around that. So one of the things about short-term rentals, it has to be owner occupied in order to get a license for short-term rental.
Right.
So just want to make sure, because you're talking about doing short-term rentals here,
yes, absolutely. Yeah, for this one, actually, we can do short-term rental, which is only one. In our city of Austin downtown, only building can do short-term because this is has a hotel license.
Oh,
a hotel condo.
Totally different. Yes, gotcha.
So James, if you do this one, you don't have to do your Airbnb on.
I know. I'm in. I'm there.
You buy law. You be lawfully. Okay. Thank you.
This is my favorite too. One of my favorites.
Yeah. I got one for my son too. My son got one unit. I made him do it. He said, "What are you getting me into?" I said, "Son, this is your first investment in your life. You're gonna be happy at it." Now I'm gonna touch about the commercial side. I just give you a couple examples. Carrabba's on 183, across the street from Costco. My client had this under contract. We're closing in 2 weeks. Great property. This is an example of if you're getting tired of investing in residential, you go to commercial, okay? 3.1 million purchase, 10-year lease, national credit tenants. Actually, the asking cap rate is 5.25. We got it over 6 cap. We get a mortgage on him on that one. He's really happy. So this is a one prime location. You're holding now you know the interest rate going up. With all that and the property value, if you can get hold of anything in Austin, the cap rate, if it's above 5, you should go buy them. You should go buy them. Next 5 to 10 years, those things gonna appreciate so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next one is I have it on the contract. This is a West Campus, a retail. We were selling it. It's a you know UT Austin, right? Called Drag, right on there. It's a little retail. It's nothing sexy about this one, to be honest. It looks ugly, but look at this. One side is the new hotspot James talking about, West Campus, high rises for student housing. The other side is campus. Students walk there all day long to get their food and to really good retail there.
Mm-hmm.
So $715 purchase price. I'm gonna get a loan on that, and also triple net. So in fact, like I said, anything above 5 cap, you should get it. So as an investor, we're really going out there aggressively buying property at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Give you one example.
This location is already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, talk to me. If you want to partner on this one, I can partner with people on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, I talked about the business opportunity, and one is that dessert shop businesses, that's the game businesses. We actually help our investor renegotiate with the landlord. We also help them selling the businesses. We just listed this week the game business. We thought people were gonna have a hard time. Guess what? We listed less than a week. We listed on Monday. Today's what? Thursday. We got 3 very possible leads on that. So with people knowing, people getting businesses in trouble, all that, this business concept, we can help them change the concept too. Yeah, great opportunity.
Will right now be a good time to buy business right now?
Actually, good question, right? A lot of business didn't survive because their business model is not adapting to the new environment. Cece, I know you done lots of research too. Right now, if you follow the young people, what do they do? Okay, what's conservative? Why Amazon's doing so well? Think about it. Okay, business is failing, but same time, like Jane mentioned, 70% of Austin business are growing. Why? Because right business model. Right now, the business are cheap to buy right now. The real estate is in retail center. There's retail center not opening. It's good to go to the landlord, negotiate a good rent. Okay, and it's like 大洗牌, right? You find the right business model, you serve the right audience, it's a great opportunity. Don't sit on the home saying, oh my God, that's a pandemic, coronavirus, I gotta stay at home. I gotta make sure I don't get anywhere, don't get infected by corona. No. You gotta think through it. You gotta be the optimist.
Yeah, so Lynn, I mean, my concern on the businesses, I'm looking at this, as far as for the rent that's required. I mean, right now, with the current pandemic crisis, I mean, paying rent has been really difficult. So has there been, do you know if there's been a lot of leeway in negotiating with
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
such
So
to buy this, I gotta at least survive enough to open it back up. So if there's ways to be able to do that, then the path makes the path clearer and easier. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, let me talk to you about that. So we all know landlords are in the challenging position, tenants also. I manage shopping center. So what we do is with a tenant, we give them a rent break. Okay, and we carry on deferred rent to the remaining of the lease. Sometimes we all use that to renew their lease. And for businesses, it's the best time for you to negotiate with the landlord on the lease term too. So when you turn a lease term, the tenant improvement, you can negotiate, and also the rent payment and how you defer that payment to the remaining part of the lease term. So there's many ways you do structure that and take advantage of the opportunity too. Yeah. And put a good lending in place. That's critical too.
Okay. Thank you, Lynn.
Okay.
Jane on this. And how about this one, the half one project?
Yeah, I'll let James start on this one.
Yeah, so this project is one that Lynn and I have been looking at it for quite a number of years, and we finally kind of taken it out of being mothballed and decided, okay, now's the time to go ahead and see what we can do with it. So this project is about 10 minutes outside of Austin on the east side. It is within a quarter mile of what, when I talked about the Austin Strategic Mobility Plan, I talked about transportation networks and main corridors and such. This is within a quarter mile of a major corridor, and even the street that it's on is one of the transportation priority networks, right? Which means there's plan for, public transportation and different things like that. So this area is primarily single family homes. So what we wanted to do is develop with a little bit more density than just standard single family homes. In addition, it was also a challenging site, right? A lot of people probably looked at it and they didn't know how to develop it, right? Because it had floodplain, it had different difficult zonings because it was part of a neighborhood plan. There's quite a few, even when you look at the access, it's also only on 2 different places, plus it's bisected by kind of a creek. So of course, I look at it as a challenge. I mean, this is the type of stuff I've done, ran my own architecture firm and have done developments like this. So Lynn and I said, okay, let's start looking at this. And what we came up with is trying to find a type of development that increases density that still fits the neighborhood, right? Something that we feel enhances the area. It doesn't gentrify the area because we're not displacing, and we're actually creating a more diverse housing types to the area. So this development has it's going to have 35 to 40 units. It's going to have a public park amenity through there, and it's close to public transportation. It's close to a golf course. And so where we are at this project right now is because we had to get a zoning change and a neighborhood plan amendment change. That's a process we're in right now. That's kind of the very beginning. So we got through planning commission with none of the commissioners against it, which is great. And next we got to go to city council. Once we get city council approval, we're going to, all cylinders are firing, and we're going to start doing the design and planning of it, and try to bring this to market. There's different models of ownership and that we're kind of toying with. And Lynn, you want to kind of touch upon that, on the potential investment concepts that we're throwing around?
Yeah, so for this one, just to give you background information, I purchased this land about 5 years ago. We didn't do anything. We'll actually waiting longer is better. Right now, it's the opportunity zone. Like James mentioned, we've gone through the city planning. So the concept with this one is we build, we sell them, or some of those we even can build, we hold them at the rental properties for short-term rental, long-term rentals. And actually, this is our exclusive investment project because we own the land. This is something we can do our own development. We actually welcome investor join us to develop this property. So it definitely is one of the things we're excited about. Okay?
Yeah, and we hope to actually do more exclusive, real international type development. Right. We're actually looking at some land in San Marcos, and we're also looking at smaller projects of, for instance, just infill projects like building duplexes in central Austin. So those are potential opportunities.
Yeah. So like you said, James mentioned, we know the location, we know the area, we know Austin, we know where the Hotspot. We actually use my personal success story. This is the one we purchased 5 years ago. I'm not going to tell you how many access gain we make on this land, right? So it's a great opportunity, and then we can develop it, and we welcome investor join. So all the real international sponsored project, we presented to our investor. Thank you.
Great. Looking forward to this project. I'll have to save one spot for that one.
Yeah. This one is something we recently launched, the project, also developed by Pearlstone, my friend's company. It's one of the nice condo project in Mueller, one of the hotspot too, 200 units, around 40 of them going to be investment unit. We actually are active investor in this project. What's a great thing about this one is to offer great opportunity for people to own investment in this one of the hottest location in Austin. So you not only can come into the project as an equity investor, but you will have an opportunity, exclusive opportunity to own one of the unit, use it as a rental property for the future growth and future appreciation. So we're excited about that one too.
Yeah,
so
and just I was just mentioning a little bit about Mueller. If you don't know about it, for those that aren't in Austin, I mean, this is an award-winning master plan community. It has the Dell Children's Hospital on it. It has mixed use. It has parkland. There's a children's museum there. One end of it even has like the film studios with Robert Rodriguez. I mean, the Performing Arts Center is there. So this is truly kind of, when we talk about complete communities, this is one of those. It has all the bits and pieces of it. It's a great development.
We like this project because it's our partner we've been working with for years. Great opportunity for investment, great opportunity to owning rental property. And come on, talk to us if you want to know more about this opportunity. Okay.
Okay. And the next one.
Next one's interesting. Well, we're talking about it. Okay. So under pandemic, what are the investment opportunities? We were mentioning it before the webinar started. Hotels, right? You think about a hotel. Those Red Roof Inn, Budget Lodge, and another one's Austin Suite. Those 3 hotels along 35, they're vacant right now. They're not really getting them. Lots of visitors. So we closed on one of those in early April or March, right? So we converted them into multifamily. They already have a kitchen. We just added in the renovation to convert them. Great concept. The first one was a huge success. So we are closing on 2 right now. Red Roof Inn, Budget Lodge, my partner and I, we work with our partner. So closing 2 in August. Those will be just like the other one project we already closed called Austin Suite. Same concept. Once we close, we do the renovation, and then we put it in the multifamily use, and then we sell them. The investment's about, I would say, about 1 to 3 years, less than 3 years, like 17 to 22 months, less than 2 years actually. We have 2 classes investment, Class A, Class B. So you can either get a prioritized return, or you can get equity. So I would say, come and talk to us about this one. We just opened up this one this week. And we're happy to share all the detail with you. The same partners, we closed on one project. James, we same partner. We purchased apartment East Austin. You know, we're close to my Halfland site on Springdale. We purchased the 2000, I would say 17 or so. We closed that one early this year. The investment made almost 1.8 multiplier. Great project. Same partner. Once we catch our investor, we're looking for deals. That's how we found those converting hotel to multifamily. It's one of the hardest thing right now people doing.
And our project launch webinar will be next Thursday. So it's gonna be July 16th by 8 p.m. Sorry about that. And contact us to register if you're interested. Email will be info@realinternational.com. And also, we also have the WeChat information as well. So we'll be launching the information soon.
Yeah. So our Mueller project, once we come out within a week, we got overwhelming responses. So we still have a very limited space here. Come on, talk to us. For Red Roof Inn, Budget Lodge, our first one, we didn't even have to make much calls. We got our investor lined up. For this one, I'm sure it's gonna be overwhelming. Look at the numbers, investment return number. And plus, that's a partner we have a very good success in the past.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so thank you guys for attending our Austin Boomtown 2040. And if you're interested in any city development hotspots, and if you're interested in Austin real estate and also the opportunities over here, you can actually contact us and book a free consulting time with us. James and Lynn, we will be able to arrange the time for you guys.